Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Sequel. This is the movie podcast where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor or someone involved that made the film worth watching, and the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. I really hope you enjoyed last week's interview with the coolest, one of my favorite interviews ever, because she was so funny. She was doing voices and characters, and of course, I'm talking about actress Kathleen Kidman. Fuck off, Wade. The best. Kelly Meeker, man, crushes in this movie. So don't forget to check out her book, KathleenKidman.com. And I cannot wait to talk about my favorite Halloween sequel by far, with my co-host and my partner on this magic sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and it's definitely been a journey. Doug, how are you doing?
Pretty good. It's the end of our third annual Scary Sequel Month. And man, I think we ended on like such a high note. It was like a roller coaster ride this entire month. It was like click, 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 click. And I think we're going down in a good way.
Well, you know, I've seen more horror movies in the last 3 years than I've seen my entire life.
You're welcome.
And again, I've never been a horror fan, but I guess it's never too late to start.
Can't teach an old dog new tricks, except you. And
no,
you can't. Like horror now.
Well, and I do learn new tricks all the time, so we're good with that. So, and you know, this is the third. This is only my third old Halloween movie. I've seen the two new ones. I didn't see the brand new one, but this is my third old one. And yeah, I have to agree. Out of the three we've seen already, this is the best one.
Wait, we haven't seen three.
But
we've seen Halloween 5.
No, I've seen. I saw the original. So
okay.
This is also, I watched the original before we started any of these because I wanted to see just where it started from. Wasn't a fan of the original. I thought it was a little slow. Yeah, but I did like this one. But I do have a lot of questions,
and I cannot wait to hear your questions. This was a movie that just before we get started and we dive right in, you got to think where they were with this idea. You know, the first one did so well. It was funny. It was like, I think it was like Grizzly. Before the first Halloween came out, Grizzly, the original Grizzly movie, was the largest independent movie of all time. Then it was this, and then I think A Nightmare on Elm Street took that crown. But you got to think, Halloween 3, they do Season of the Witch. It's about a warlock, these masks that make kids' heads melt. And then they're like, we got to go back to the well, and we got to do it right. You got to think, we'll get your take and my take at the end of the movie, but how much pressure to nail this movie? Because I guarantee if this movie was Halloween 5 and this was in its place, I don't think they would have made another one after it.
Well, I guess from what I've heard was Michael Myers is not in the third one, correct?
No, not at all.
Right, so it became a different. So I guess this is like the Michael Myers coming out of retirement kind of movie.
Yes.
And I guess and it's been how long between the third one and this one?
10 years.
Okay, so 10.
Well, 10 years between. 10 years between. All right, so here's the weird thing about this one. Just like the newer movies, like the newer ones basically say, forget two through all of them except our new one. This one kind of ignores most of 2, except they ignore everything but the ending, sort of, I guess, because they all talk about the killings from 10 years before. So I guess they do count this. I don't know. It makes no sense, but
okay. All right. So since we're talking on that, so this is one of the main questions I have. So this is taking place 10 years after the events of number 2, correct?
Yeah, which is all the same night. Yeah, 10 years later.
Okay. All right. So my question is, I mean, we didn't even start the movie yet, but why is he still bandaged as if it just happened the night before?
Well, I guess because of the burns he might have. Because if you see Loomis's burns on his face in this movie, no, that makes no sense. But how about that? This is a question which I know we didn't even start yet, but 10 years later, the whole point of this movie is somehow he finds out, and I don't know, honestly, maybe they didn't show that, because Loomis says it later in the movie, that he finds out that he has a niece, which Jamie is Jamie Lee Curtis and Laurie Strode's daughter.
Yeah.
And he wakes up just because he found that out. So who told him that day?
We're not even at the movie yet, and the questions I have again, why are they transferring him 10 years later? Like, I don't even know where he's going. Is he going to jail? Like, where were they taking him?
He's going to a new facility, and they just happen to move him on Halloween. Wouldn't they learn from last time? All right, guys, we can move him. Like, can we just move him on St. Patrick's Day? Like, why is it always the day before Halloween? Always.
But, I don't know. I guess it wouldn't be a movie if it wasn't.
That would be true, right? Somebody comes in there like, hey, how about we just like double chain him up or something? And they're like, the end. Credits roll.
How come he's never in jail? I mean, in 2 movies, he's mass murdered how many people? Why is he still not in prison? Like a prison hospital.
He should be. Well, I get maybe he is. I don't know. I love the guy. So to get right in the movie,
okay.
This is like the first Halloween that I think, because the other one, I just watched the movies that made us on Netflix. The first one was shot in the spring, so they had like no leaves, the color changed. So I guess you don't notice that when you watch it, that everything's like growing when it should be dying. But this movie, the intro, it was shot out in Salt Lake City, and you just get the cool vibes, that eerie beginning. Like when you see Donald Pleasance's name in the intro, and it's right next to that mailbox with the skull on it. Man, it just gives you that cool vibe.
No, it was cool. No, I agree. The beginning of just like the filming the farm, like it looked like a farmhouse, a farm area, and just scrolling around as you see the credits, it was very cool. I didn't know what to expect or where they were leading to, so I thought it was a very good start.
And I think they did that intro. I guess you'd have to talk to like the producer or director. They I think wanted to let people know right away. Obviously there was trailers back then and commercials, but not as like easily accessible. But the name of the movie, The Return of Michael Myers, and boom, we're not lying to you. Right in the within 5 seconds, it says Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. So they were like not messing around. And then we cut right to...
What I like though,
yeah.
what I did like though is they didn't play the music yet.
Oh,
yes. And so I like the fact they didn't play the music yet, and as cheesy as it was, I liked when they did play the music.
Oh, it was awesome.
That was very cool.
So
yeah. I
wrote this down. I was talking about it now. So the guy I watched the behind the scenes on this movie, Alan Howarth. He worked on the first 2 with John Carpenter. Like, he's credited with the score in the first 2 movies. So he called John and said, hey, they want me to do this movie. Is that okay? And John's like, sure. And he said, I only wanted to use the theme like when it mattered. And dude, the times that they use in this movie are like so perfect. It is like, I don't want to say it's Jaws-esque, because there's some times that it's not as expected, but it gives you that feeling like something's coming. I guess it's sort of like Jaws or Debo.
Did they amp or Debo? That's true. Did they amp up the music a little bit? It seemed like it was amped up a little bit.
Yeah, it was like energized. Oh my god!
Yeah,
let's just get right into it.
Right.
So when they're at the sanitarium, another character actor, I didn't look up his name. I should have. I'm sure I have it on my other sheet. The guy that plays the cop has been in a million things. I feel like he was in a Seinfeld. He was in like a bunch of commercials, but he's like giving the whole synopsis. He's basically just giving the exposition of what happened in the last 10 years. And he like breaks down the whole movie, tells them everything about it. These doctors seem like they have no idea who Michael Myers is, when they should know everything about him.
Everything, correct. Or, I mean, isn't that kind of like, because they've given a lot of family, they even talk about the family in this part, right? In the elevator. Yeah. Isn't that kind of private information?
Not with that guy. That guy's, dude, he probably sells cigarettes to the inmates. He does everything. He sneaks some cheeseburgers for a few bucks. He seems so shisty, but that's who has to work at those places. Oh. You're not getting good old Joe next door. You're getting good old Joe who lives by the train tracks. Sells beer to high school kids.
But again, they're going there. They're cops, right? So they're going there to get Michael Myers. Are they bringing him to jail now?
No, they're doctors. They're like transferring him to another facility.
Why?
That facility doesn't need him anymore.
And did you notice that? Like, I know he has bandages all over his face like a mummy. There's no opening for food or drink or anything like this. Like, or breathing. Like, there's like usually like there's nothing. Like his face is covered all around.
Well, I'm not a doctor, and you're not a doctor, right?
I'm not a doctor.
Okay, so I don't know how he's eating because he should have because he's in a coma. Remember, he's in a coma the last 10 years. So I don't know. Can they feed someone through like the veins? I always thought it had to be like a feeding tube.
Yeah, but that's what I would think. Not to mention, you would lose a little size. I mean, it's still a pretty, he looks like he's in pretty good shape still.
That is true. Just think, when Steven Seagal was in a coma in the hospital in order to kill, he had to escape using a broom. Michael is walking within minutes.
And so should we assume he doesn't grow any facial hair? I mean, he's 10 years. You're going to tell me Michael Myers doesn't grow any facial hair at all?
Holy shit. Maybe Jason from
Jason
Goes
funny,
to
like,
Hell
if he had, like,
shaved
some
him.
whiskers coming out of the...
Yeah. That would have been funny. Like a huge beard, like Tom Hanks' Castaway, popping through the underneath. Yeah. That's amazing. So then we have the doctor that they talk to that's there, which is the guy that there's a lot of characters in this movie. Well, I'll talk about what I love about the movie. And it's funny, the one thing I love about this movie at the same time I not hate on it, but like this doctor who hates Loomis for some reason because he's trashing with those other doctors. And he even says like a weird line. He's like, he's only his doctor by, he didn't say proxy, but it was almost like he just labeled his doctor, basically like calling Loomis like a phony. And he just says that he's Michael's doctor. What do you expect the guy to fucking do? The guy's in a coma for 10 years. What, do you want to just stand there, check a chart?
Well, not to mention, why is he showing up 10 years later? I feel like everybody hates Loomis. Like, I feel like every time he goes anywhere, like, no one's Loomis is kind of a creepy guy. And not for nothing, it seems like every time Loomis shows up, there's always trouble.
Well, he's following the trouble. He's trying to get there in time. But so one cool thing about this movie, Donald Pleasance he said he would do the movie, but he wouldn't officially sign until he read the script. And they said, if you ever watch the behind the scenes on this, it's free on YouTube. Every person talks about him in such high regard. They said nobody screwed around when he was on set for the day, and he like nailed everything in one take. Dude, his performance in this movie, I know it's a horror movie. It is amazing.
You know what? For an older guy, he goes through a lot. I didn't see the second one, but I saw some clips, and considering what he goes through this one, he's kind of superhuman himself. I mean, he should have been dead at least 4 times.
Oh, dude. Yes.
In 2 movies.
Yeah, very early on. Well, at the end of the second one, he kind of is dead. The hospital explodes. He like flies.
Well, I thought he was dead in this one with the explosion.
I know. So we talked about it already. So they're like transferring Michael for what reason? We have no idea. But like we talked about, this is the first time you hear the music was when they're bringing Michael out of the hospital. And we got like this weird thing when the female doctor was checking him and the arm fell on the ground. It's like, all right, he's in a coma. Why would I think he's going to do anything? And as soon as they go outside, the pouring rain, of course. It's always raining day before Halloween.
I was going to say that. It rains a lot in this movie, and it's always at night. Like, it's like at night, rain all the time.
And you hear that music hit, dun, 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 like fast. And just seeing them like get him into the ambulance real quick. So funny thing is, this next scene that we're going to talk about was not in the movie. So they basically didn't have a few scenes that we'll talk about. But this one, in the ambulance, him like reviving, it was more of the later scene when they find the ambulance in the water. They did test screenings and they said, we got to add more like blood and gore, because if you think about it, there's no blood in this movie. Really, there's no blood.
No, and a lot of the killings are done off screen.
Yes.
Right?
Original
I mean,
movie.
So yeah.
Yeah, the first Halloween.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No blood.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I think I was disappointed when I saw the first one, because I'm so used to Friday the 13th, which is pretty much bloody everywhere, that this is like kind of tamer. I mean,
it is tamer.
Now, with that being said, there are iconic deaths in this movie.
Oh yeah, no, totally. No, but I think it's the old. No, I was gonna say like the old like Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. People talk about it. It's like, oh my god, that movie you shouldn't show to your kids. Which obviously it's a horror movie, but no blood in those movies either. So it's like it's using your own imagination.
Yeah, I think with that one it's a little different because that was based on a true story. So like they didn't need the blood; they already had the fear factor that this actually happened. And I think and the grainy footage of that movie. So I think that movie is a different story. But I agree with this movie, or just in Halloweens in general. I don't know if it's a trope in all the Halloweens, or do they get bloodier as the movies go on?
Oh, well, they get bloodier. The third one was pretty bloody that we covered, Leatherface. So yeah, I guess that's the way it is. You gotta up the blood.
No.
Before we get to the next part.
Halloween, no.
Halloween movies? Oh no, they do get.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, what they do? H2O is pretty bloody. I'm trying to think. Halloween 5. I don't think we really saw much blood.
Yeah, we didn't. That's what I'm saying. Well, H2O is a newer one, right?
H2O is. It came out in '98. That was the one with Jamie Lee Curtis and Josh Hartnett at the school, and yeah. But no, even I'm thinking about the iconic kill with the guy with the metal rake, with the little rake in Halloween 5. When Michael hits him in the head, there's no blood. Yeah. You just see it in his head, and then he's dead on the ground.
Yeah, that's weird.
No blood at all. Here's a fun fact for all you folks listening around Halloween. The intro to Texas Chainsaw Massacre is read by none other than John Larroquette. He was friends with Tobe Hooper. Rumor has it that he paid him in 2 joints back in 1974 to read the intro, before he was nothing. In 74, Larroquette wasn't in anything.
You know, I'm surprised they didn't use him for like Michael Myers. He's a tall guy. He probably could have, with a mask, he probably could have done Michael Myers.
I would love to, if I had the time, to just put him talking into some of the scenes where Michael's just looking at people. But yeah, so they had to add the scene in the ambulance because they're like, we just need something more. So that's why if you're watching this on video, I did the old like thumb when the guy, oh, that's the best.
So he kills him. So unlike the I guess, the morgue, or, how did he die? He died by thumb to brain?
Thumb to brain.
What did he do? Thumb to brain. So basically he killed him. So his thumb is that strong to just basically melt through the guy's skull. Like, doesn't that seem like a little ridiculous?
A little bit. After a 10-year coma, I would think, yeah.
Well, I mean, because he struggles a lot of times with the little girl. Like, she kind of, like, or even the girl driving, like, he struggles on certain things, but he's strong enough to push his thumb into someone's skull.
The rules, the rules are very picky when it comes to, I guess, the way he operates. But no, it's funny. People complain when you look at like reviews, like, why is Roger Ebert like reviewing a horror movie? It's like, yeah, it's not believable. It's like, all right. Well, of course it's not believable, but how else were you going to bring Michael Myers back? Like, what, have him go training? That's the only way to do it.
So is he Jason-like? Is he like a zombie like Jason?
See, no, he's not a zombie. I guess I don't know if he eats and shits, but he's not a zombie. He's just like possessed by Satan. Like Satan took over his body, which we could sort of see at the ending scene.
Because he definitely seems smarter than Jason. Like, he's definitely craftier than Jason for some of the things he does. So like, I'm thinking like, but he has superhuman strength.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
But Jason later started peeping like he does, because Michael Myers peeps.
No, well, yeah. I mean, that's definitely I think a trope. I think peeping is part of the job. If you're going to be a killer with a mask, you got to be a peeper too.
Yeah, slasher in the 80s, you're peeping. So then he kills that guy. Obviously, guess the female doctor doesn't make it. We don't see it. That's like an off-screen kill. And then we cut to Jamie, played by Danielle Harris, which I thought this was like her first like thing. This is her first big movie break, but she was on One Life to Live, I think, for a while, right around this part. I thought you watched that, no?
Why would I watch that?
Oh, you're
I
more of a
watched
bold and beautiful guy.
No, I did watch Days of Our Lives. I got grounded one summer, so I had to stay home for the summer, so I watched Days of Our Lives with my mom.
Nice. Like sands in the hourglass. So
wait, quick question, because I was confused about this. So, does Jamie Lee Curtis die in the first two movies?
No, she wouldn't come back, and they were like, okay, so we're gonna have to just like let your character die, because she said she didn't want to be associated at all. Obviously, 10 years later, that changes pretty quick.
Right.
So they did the quick exposition about your parents died in a car accident.
Oh, lame.
It's like so quick. Like I knew about it, and then they did the line like really fast. I'm like, oh my god, that's how they're gonna do it.
But did they do a throwback to Jamie Lee Curtis by naming her daughter Jamie?
They did, yeah. Her first name in the script, I think, was the writer. The writer that wrote this in 11 days, because it was like in 3 weeks is going to be the writer's strike. So this guy Alan, what was his first name? Anyway, but he's written a bunch of stuff. If you look him up, like a bunch of action movies from the 90s. And yeah, so he wrote this in 11 days. So I think the first name was like Brittany, but they changed it to Honor, which is pretty cool.
It is cool, but I mean, not for nothing. There really isn't much of a plot to this movie. You know, I'm not surprised it's only 11 days to write this movie.
Well, there's not a lot of plot, but yeah, I know what you mean. Like a lot of these, no horror movies have like, it's always like, you know, slasher going after everyone pretty much, but his goal is obviously to kill Jamie. So here's a part that I want to ask you about, because there's a few parts in this movie that while you're watching it, you're thinking it's one thing, and then like as soon as the scene's over, you're like, okay, I know what it is. But I don't understand this part. So she's sitting there Jamie's crying on the couch looking out the window, and an ambulance is sitting outside. So is he really there?
No, well, there was so you know what? I don't even think I noticed the ambulance there.
Okay, well, no, I'm telling you now, there was an ambulance. It was like one of those, she's looking, she doesn't really see it. You just see her looking. Rachel comes in, so that actress, Ellie, is so amazing. At the same time, she auditioned to play Tuesday Night's role in Dream Master, and she got this. So, yeah.
It worked out for her.
Oh, this role is awesome.
She's in it. You know what? This is, again, another movie where the parents are total jerks in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, we're coming close to the scene. But no, I didn't notice there was an ambulance there.
Yeah, so it's like one of those, she doesn't see it. Jamie doesn't see it. Rachel comes in because she hears her crying, and then it's gone. And then flash forward in a few scenes, the ambulance is in a lake way far away from Haddonfield.
Well, how do you know it's far away?
It's 3 hours. That was the whole thing when he's there, when he's at that lake, Loomis. In the later scene, they go, "Where are you going?" He goes, "I'm going to Haddonfield," and it's 3 hours. That's why it was like such a big deal. So I don't know. Was Michael really there? And then he goes, "Oh fuck! I gotta dump this ambulance 3 hours away."
I think. I mean, obviously, I think that's like a kind of a flash forward of seeing the ambulance drive by the house. You know, knowing that Michael Myers, you know, I don't know, in the background, I guess. Because I didn't notice it, so it couldn't have been that big of a scene.
No, it wasn't. It was just like her looking out the window. They zoomed in the pane. You saw the ambulance. And then I'm like, why would he, if he's already there, his goal is to kill her, why would he drive 3 hours back and then dump the car?
Well, yeah, and that was after the, so wait, you know, I didn't even think about this. So he's driving the ambulance.
Yeah.
And then crashes it into the water himself?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he didn't drive for 10 years, so he might have been a little rusty with the driving.
He might have been, but he was already outside her house.
But he didn't know. How do you know that's her house? He was at, you know, don't forget she got adopted.
But it was in Haddonfield, so she happens to get adopted in Haddonfield, the town that he's from.
How does he know?
He knows somehow.
I don't think he knows. I think he overhears the conversation later on. I don't think he knows.
He's sitting there at the diner having coffee
but him crashing the ambulance. Now that you make me, I honestly did not think about it. I'm still thinking like he was killing them and they crashed as he killed them, but they're already dead. So he crashed the ambulance himself.
Yeah, maybe to make it. I don't know what. Maybe the only thing he could have done is have them off his tail, but they know where he's going. Loomis knows he's going to Haddonfield, so to me that makes absolutely no sense.
He's that crafty. He's that crafty. That he's setting it up to make it look like it's an accident.
I know.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. That's what I mean. It just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So then Jamie goes into her closet and she's looking at a shoebox. We see Laurie Strode, and then Michael's in the room. So she's having so that to me is like her just having visions of him there because he's not really in the room. For me, that makes more sense if that's a vision. But why would she envision the exact ambulance that he is in?
Okay, so let me ask you this: was she in the second movie?
No, she's only.
Okay, so how does she know what Michael Myers looks like? How does she have such vivid memories of what Michael Myers looks like?
Exactly.
If she's never really seen him.
Yeah, there's no photos
at all.
Well, she probably has to know what he looks like because we'll get to a scene later that I have a clip for. Because people, just like in the fifth one, people act like this is a joke. People got murdered in this small town, and hey, you know what? Let's dress up like them and mess with the cops.
Yeah, but wouldn't a lot of her identity kind of been under a private file? Let's not bring her identity out of here. Connected to Michael. She was a young kid. I feel like there's too much information out there on her.
The system's broken because all the kids in school were saying Uncle. Yeah, that's what I mean. Everybody knows about it.
There's no reason. Yeah, they shouldn't.
They should. And why is she in the same town? I get it. Maybe Rachel's parents knew
no other
Laurie?
family.
I don't know, man. Somebody,
so
please.
Rachel's she's not even related to them, right? She was a babysitter?
No, Rachel, that's her parents. Rachel, that's her parents.
No, that I know. Why did they adopt Jamie?
I have no idea. They really didn't mention of it.
That's it. So we don't even know why she's even in that house.
Same town. They're just like, hey, do you want to take her? Sure. She has this crazy uncle. Okay. That's fine. I have a crazy uncle too. He snores all the time. No, not that crazy. So then we have Jamie having a vivid nightmare. She's getting pulled under the bed. There's a cool behind the scenes story. There's two guys that played Michael. This guy, George Wilbur, who's a stuntman and a bunch of stuff. He said that he didn't want to scare her. So in between takes, as soon as they cut, he would take the mask off and be like, hey, what's going on, Danielle? And then, all right, we're just going to be playing, okay? It's going to be frightening. Even though
you know what? You're right. For her age, I mean, she was pretty young, but I think she did an incredible job for a young girl. She played it great. She played fear very well.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love this movie so much more than 5. But her performance in 5, to have a kid that young playing a mute, and then her changing character, no, 100%.
Yeah.
So then Rachel, is this the part you're talking about that she gets stuck having to babysit? Okay,
so the father. Okay, first of all, his tie goes into the coffee, right? First of all, his tie isn't even on. It's all disheveled. He's going to work. He literally dips his tie in the coffee and yells at his wife about it. He almost blames his wife. What is she supposed to do? He's definitely. I mean, they don't show it, but I think he's a little
abusive,
aggressive.
Okay,
abusive. I would say that. And I think both of them are pretty shitty parenting because they're going out where, what's her name, Rachel?
Rachel, yeah.
Rachel. So she's got this big plans with her boyfriend. They're making her stay home while they go out. How is that fair?
Well, it's not fair, but let's I don't know if Rachel is trying to move too fast because I don't know if they're really boyfriend and girlfriend because her friend in the car, which she makes it seem like, oh, why don't you actually like tell Brady how you feel? And I'm like, wait, is this like a first date or a second date? Because their whole dynamic, and Brady's a dick. We'll get to that.
What was it? Well, yeah, but wasn't she like kind of talking about getting engaged?
Well, yeah,
I thought that's what
she was, yeah.
She was. So like, but okay, but so, and then the father goes when she's talking and Jamie overhears them, she runs away, and then the father's like, "Nice going," like blamed like Rachel. How about the father staying home? This girl. How long was this? Was it 10 months, or how long she been living there? Or no, it's 10 years.
We don't know how long.
Why, like
Laurie Strode died?
Okay.
They didn't really mention when she died, but maybe I guess probably a few years.
So this girl is obviously troubled. She's. Why are they putting all this pressure on this high school student?
Exactly.
Is she in high school or is she in college?
She's in high school, yeah.
Okay. So why are they putting all the pressure on her?
Because they're terrible parents. They're like, I want to go get blitzed on Halloween. You stay here.
And knowing it is Halloween, they're going to go out knowing this is the holiday that's completely traumatized this girl. But let's go out anyway.
Yeah. 10 years. This isn't 20, 30 years like some old book, like old story from 100 years ago. 10 years ago, these people were probably in the town. Like, come on.
So then, you know what? Well, maybe they said, listen, we've been home for 9 years at Halloween.
Yeah.
It's 10 years. Now we're going out. We waited 10 years for this.
But yeah, so then Rachel, she goes, she makes up with Jamie, and she says, I'm so sorry, I don't mind. How about we go trick-or-treating? And then she's like, no, I don't want to go trick-or-treating. And then boom, Loomis, the next scene. Just seeing him for the first time is just, it's iconic, really. Like this role, you think of all of his roles he's ever done, Dr. No, I can't think of it, with Steve McQueen, The Great Escape, like all these epic roles he's played over the years. This movie is so iconic, and just his attitude towards that dickhead doctor that we saw earlier, and the guy's like almost basically swallowing his tongue because he knows he's screwed up.
Well, Loomis has the same expression the entire movie.
Yeah,
like he really, he's almost like a Van Helsing to Dracula to like, this is like Michael is his trophy, and he's like Quint in Jaws. Like, this is the one that escaped, and this is like his because it's like they need each other. It's like they feed on each other, kind of thing.
Yeah. Can you believe Peter Cushing almost played? He got offered the role in the first one, and he turned it down.
It wouldn't have been the same.
I know.
I think Loomis, he nails it. But there is a question in this scene that I have. So the doctor, obviously, Loomis is telling him the seriousness of the situation. Doctor's being very carefree until he gets that phone call that there was a situation. Loomis does not give it 5 seconds before he walks away. How does Loomis know where to go?
Oh, where to go? Where the ambulance is in the lake? I don't know about that, but I love the guy. Like, everything's gonna be fine, Dr. Loomis, and he answers the phone. And he's like,
seconds later. What? It's not even seconds that the phone rang. Everything's gonna be fine. Ring. Like seconds.
Oh,
and
I see.
The minute he,
I see.
Loomis did not give it 5 seconds. He walked away.
He didn't even let him say, like, holy shit, the ambulance that was taking in Michael Myers, it crashed in a lake, and we can't find him, and everybody's dead.
He knows no information whatsoever, yet he knows it's Michael Myers, and he knows exactly where to go.
Yeah.
Although he has trouble getting there.
Well, that's the next scene.
Oh, that's a later on.
That's
okay,
after,
yeah. That's right.
Which is pretty funny. So Loomis right away shows up. He's talking to like the state troopers. You see the blood on the outside of the ambulance, and then he's the first one to like wade into the water, open it up, and he's like, "Sheriff, Michael Myers has escaped. Check the area." Oh no! And then the sheriff on his radio goes, "Check the area. We have an escaped guy." And he goes, "I know exactly where he's going." And then he just like starts walking into his car, drives, and dude.
Okay, Loomis has access. Okay. So Loomis carries a gun, has access to go wherever he wants. What is he? Isn't he a psychiatrist? Or
he's Superman.
No, he is Superman. I mean, he definitely is invincible because he doesn't die.
Yeah.
But he's a psychiatrist, right? He's Michael Myers, a psychiatrist. Okay. So how is he able to go to every single crime scene, and carry a loaded gun? Well,
exactly.
To be fair.
Yeah.
To be fair, everybody in this movie is allowed to carry a gun and do whatever they want.
But like, does he have other patients? Like, while he's doing this whole charade, does he have like Gary waiting in the waiting room to like talk about his feelings? Because who pays him?
That'd be great if he actually started like a session with Gary, and then he got a quick phone call, and he goes, "All right, Gary, I'll be right back." And Gary's still laying on the couch and like sleeves.
The end of the movie, post-credit scene, Gary's laying there with a teddy bear.
Checking his watch.
And Loomis walks in. Oh my God, you're here? You said you'd be right back. So then we get Loomis. Well, first we see Michael. He's at the gas station. He makes quick work of the mechanic that's under the car, which that scene they had really bloody. They didn't even shoot it. They had it written as like him taking the metal pole and like put it in the guy's mouth. But just real quick, takes him out.
Okay. All right. So we need to dive into this because this is a question that's been burning on my mind for every Halloween.
Okay.
Does he only kill mechanics?
Oh, it's funny.
Okay. So does he have something against mechanics?
Ooh, maybe his dad was a mechanic.
Okay. Every mechanic is the same size? I mean, I would say like most mechanics are either fat, short and fat, or like, small. Like rarely, I mean, Michael Myers is a pretty big guy. Rarely do you see a big mechanic like that, but somehow he finds a big mechanic every place he goes to.
Wait, that's why when he had the ambulance, he checked all the gas stations. And all the other guys weren't his size, like the Three Little Bears. And that was the only gas station that had a guy that was the same height and weight.
Well, this is also, there's only one person mechanic working there the entire time. And you see this a lot through the whole movie. There's always one person. One person at the electricity place, the power plant. There's only one person here. Like, it's only one person working.
Gary called out. He was waiting for Dr. Loomis.
So Gary that's waiting on the couch is supposed to be, he's late.
He's supposed to be pumping gas. Well, that gas station didn't even look like, from the outside, it looked like it shouldn't even be business.
It looked abandoned.
Yeah.
I mean, considering the car that was in there, it looked like a 1920s, gangster car. like that old school, jalopy, whatever. Like,
yeah. So then we get Loomis. He arrives to buy gas. Nobody's in there. And again, that road must have been like a pretty busy highway because it was a gas station / luncheonette. Oh, wait. There was somebody else there. The waitress. When Loomis walks in and he goes, trying to buy some gas. And then you see this waitress dead on the ground. So did she not hear the guy scream in the other room? Or did he kill her first?
Maybe she's deaf.
Maybe she is deaf. That is true.
But okay, so this gas station / diner looks like it's in the middle of nowhere. This is the only gas station in town. So that Loomis happens to go to the same one that Michael Myers is in.
It's the only gas station / diner. It's the only place to eat and get gas.
Okay. And again, so you had a waitress there. Okay, let's just say there, obviously it's a diner. There wasn't one other car. You're gonna tell me they had no customers at the restaurant?
No, I guess not.
There's no cook. So the waitress is working there. Where's the chef?
That is true. They should have showed like a dead chef or something.
So she's basically the waitress, and then she takes your order, but then she has to run it back and cook.
And she pumps the gas when Gary's out. Gary's out, she's the one who does it all.
Why does my food taste like gasoline?
Oh, that Gary! Can you imagine that was Gary pumps gas and he flips burgers?
Do you think that the waitress takes off her uniform, throws on a guest attendee outfit, and then throws the chef's outfit on when she goes in there and just moves around?
Yeah, she has like 3 personalities, different names, different like accents.
And would you eat at a place that's the gas station is right
No.
attached to it?
No.
Gross. I mean, you don't even want to go near the bathroom, let alone eat that's going to be there. Like, the bathroom at the gas station is usually horrid.
Oh.
So you're going to eat. Ugh.
So then we get Loomis. He's in there. He sees the dead waitress, and he finds the guy wrapped in chains, the guy that Michael killed. And then, oh no, there's a couple guys dead. There's another guy that's dead on like a desk or something, because we have a guy that's wrapped in chains, and then we have the waitress. So it was just off-screen kills that we didn't see. Which
they did that a lot. Was it a small budget that they couldn't show all this?
The budget was $5 million, but they probably just, again, for you to use your own imagination. I think this movie, that's the thing I was saying earlier. Like, it's something I love about it and hate it at the same time. I love that there's not as many kills that you see. I don't know why. It just like makes it, when it does happen, it's like more of a moment rather than, like, I really enjoyed Halloween Kills, but it's just like kill after kill after kill, which is cool. Special effects are great, but like in this one, it's like very rare that you see it. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, I think in this one, he's almost like a very crafty, like, killer.
Yeah.
Like, he's not like, he's just not like gonna go around slashing. He's like, everything is very creative. First of all, I thought the mechanic, was going to die by hook, because they show you that dangling big hook that was there. I thought he was definitely going to die in that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't used.
They tricked you.
They did trick you.
He just is wrapped in chains. So then you see Michael already in the mechanic jumpsuit coveralls, and you see like that cool shot of like the pull in on him, and he's just standing there with the bandages on his face still.
Okay, hold on now. Okay, so he's wearing the same jumpsuit that he just stabbed the guy with?
Was the guy wearing it while he was into the car? Probably.
He was. Okay, so one, Michael Myers stabbed him with this pole. Blood, I'm sure. There's nothing on that jumpsuit that Michael Myers. Not to mention, he's such, again, Michael Myers is like a zombie or, possessed. I can't imagine him like, undressing a mechanic to put the clothes on.
Do you imagine that
right?
scene?
Wouldn't that be weird? Wouldn't that be weird? Like, he's like he's a monster, but he can take his time to slowly take this guy's clothes off so he can put it on. And why does he have to put it on? Like, why can't he wear what he's wearing now? Like, why does he have to wear mechanic's clothes?
It's part of his style, man. No, you had to like the scene of him trying to take the boot off, and the guy double knotted it, so he's like, he just saws the leg off.
But is it? Maybe he wants to protect his clothes from the blood. So
Maybe
he likes the clothes that he wears. Okay. All right.
Maybe it was Gary's. Maybe it was more Gary's that was in his cubby.
This poor Gary.
It's Gary.
Every Gary is Michael Myers.
So I love this whole scene, man. I love that he's like, when Loomis is looking at him and just the mood gets like real mellow, and his like little speech was so great. He's like, "Let me kill you, leave those people in Haddonfield to peace," and he just starts firing at him, and they did like, boom, he's not there. Loomis goes outside, looks around, and then Michael flies through with the tow truck.
Where did he find the keys? Michael, this is.
Okay, how did he?
Okay, first of all, yeah. And see how Loomis dove? He's
Like
not that agile. He dove over dumpsters.
Oh. That was like professional stuntman. Like, that was like Loomis at 20.
Yeah, and Loomis looks like he's in his 70s. 60s, 70s. Like late 60s, let's say. And Michael Myers, he again, I know we discussed him driving. It's been 10 years. He's able to drive. He's able to walk and run. I feel like he's more human than Monster. Like,
yeah.
He seems like
and he drives pretty good. You got to think, he's driving through a garage, getting shot at, And he stays on the right side of the road. He's not even like peeling out or anything.
And he knows exactly where to go. How does he know where to go?
It's not like Haddonfield's like New York City or a major like anything. So I don't think Haddonfield's on the map. It seems very small. But I don't know. It's like the Satan in him.
So okay. So you're telling me that Michael Myers, okay, he is 3 hours away. So you're going to tell me Michael Myers, as he's driving, is looking at the map at the same time?
I would love that.
Like, can you see?
Stopping at gas stations.
Asking for directions.
just like murmuring because he doesn't talk, like mumbling.
And how come Michael Myers never kills Loomis? Like, does he have like a soft spot for him?
I think you just said it. I think you said it best. It's like the villain and the hero. They need each other. They need
each other. Okay.
So that's why he lasted so long. And the only reason he was like out of the 6th movie was he was like getting old. So they were like, to like get rid of him. But other than that, he probably would have been there forever.
He's also a bad shot with the gun. I mean, he runs around with a gun this whole movie, but he's not good with it.
He's not good at all. No. But again, the choice of when to play the music, like right there, perfect. As soon as he goes through, you hear like the really up-tempo, Halloween theme music. And then we talked about this earlier about the friggin' bullies at that school. The kids bullying on Halloween, Jamie, and the balls on that girl who's dressed like a penguin. Like, she looks like the penguin that was on those TV dinners back in the day. I don't even know what brand that was, but that's what she looked like. A penguin. And she's like, Uncle Boogeyman. Jamie should be like, all right, listen here, bitch. Like, you're not anyone.
They were vicious. They were like beyond. I mean, usually you see bullies in high school. This is like, what, 4th grade?
Oh,
like,
yeah, if that.
I mean, to be the bullies, right? So if that, to talk about that, like, and the tease like that was unbelievable. Like, I can't imagine kids really being that bad. Like they were vicious.
That was really.
They were like serial killers in the making.
Yeah, it was almost like, again, because this is a small town. She's in the same town. Maybe like their parents were affected by all the shit that happened, and maybe they know that, hey, Michael came back for Lori all those years ago. So why would we have somebody else that he might? I have no idea. But no, they're disgusting. And then she runs out. She's crying by a tree. Rachel happens to pull up with her friend. So this is kind of like what I was talking about. So we meet this character, this girl. She has a few lines like Rachel's friend, like, oh, you should go trick-or-treating, because then Jamie wants to go because all the kids that bullied her were all dressed up. She's like, oh, you should go to Vincent Drugs, which is... and she's like, oh, Brady's working. She's like, oh, just go anyway. And I'm like, this girl's going to be in this movie. We never see her again.
Is she the friend from the 5th movie?
No. A new friend in that movie, yeah.
Oh, because she seems like the same kind of, like, character.
Sort of. This girl, like, she looks like a spitting image of the girl that's in, like, Friday the 13th, Part 7. Same look to the face. So I'm like, oh, she's going to die. Nope, she's gone. And
nothing, gone. Yeah.
In seconds. And this drugstore that, when we get to it, Vincent Drugs, I know for a fact this has been a trillion movies, but one movie I can think of, Sandlot. Like, this downtown area, I don't know if Sandlot filmed, or I don't know if this was in Salt Lake, or this is a back lot, like the Vincent Drugs, but yeah. That's Sandlot, where they go and get the baseball.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're at the discount mark, where Brady, who... I gotta say, Sasha Jensen, who plays Brady, he is in... I have a lot of favorite movies. My wife hates it. But I'm telling you, 3 of my favorite movies. This movie, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dazed and Confused. He is in 3 epic to me, epic movies.
Who did he play? Was he one of the bullies?
Yes,
like
he was the fucking wacko. Okay. He was the wacko with the paddle. He was one of the crazier ones. He was the one that got the kid to go buy the beer. He's like, oh, it's okay, just go.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
That was him.
Iconic.
So then we get Kelly Meeker, and we get the buddies. This is what so we get Wade, and we get his other buddy. I'm like, they're going to be in the movie later. No, they're gone. We don't see them ever again. And even though it's so short.
Really... Well, I would say there's really like 5 characters in this whole movie.
Exactly.
Like important, and which is amazing because I mean, there are a lot of deaths, like you said, but a lot of it is off screen. So it's like, you're really invested in only like 5 characters.
That's true. Maybe they did that purposeful. That's what I like about it in a way. But in the same sense, I'm like, oh, it'd been more, but then you couldn't, I guess, add it with so many. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I think what it does is because there aren't a lot of killings on screen. When they do the killings that are so iconic, like the thumb, or we'll get to the shotgun later, but it makes those kills that much better.
Oh,
and I think that's what they were aiming for. So you could focus on like the big kills that are happening, and don't worry about the other ones.
Hell yeah! And then we see the lovely Kathleen Kidman as Kelly Meeker, and I didn't even want to. I don't even want to. I said it earlier. We were starting the episode, but it's like only fitting to have her voice when Wade walks up trying to pick her up. So great.
Fuck off, Wade.
How much older is she than them? Because she seems older than them. Are they in the same grade? Like, she's supposed to be in their grade?
I think she's supposed to be in high school. She's young there. In real life, she's pretty young.
But she looks great there, and so she just looks like she looks older. So I thought she was like a college student compared, and that's why she has no time for these guys.
I guess because it's
that's how I look at it.
The whole small town thing is if your dad is like the mayor or the preacher or cop or anything like that, you don't want to like mess with that person's daughter. So I guess that is it,
Well, he was also dorky. I mean, he definitely was dorky. So
Wade, no, I know, but that line's so great, man. So then we have
it's awesome.
Jamie's in there. She's looking for costumes, and I love this part because again, it was like the whole background thing. It just looks so cool. Just like while she's looking for these costumes, you see the Myers mask just like sitting there.
Yeah. And well, that was a question I had. So I don't, maybe you remember, how did he originally get the mask? Like, do you remember how he started wearing the mask?
That's a great question. I think it was in a store in the first movie. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
They would stop selling it? Like, what do you think they would stop selling that mask?
Well, you would think, but then people are making a lot of money off it because it's probably popular, and there's only one left on the shelves. But all those other masks are so cool because the one with the eyeballs, I forgot what movie that's from, but that's from like a movie from like the 60s and 70s with the multiple eyeballs on the brown creature.
No, all those masks are very cool. But I mean, I was just wondering why. I think it would have been great if Jamie decided to pick that mask.
Ooh, could you imagine that?
And he's like, around with that mask in the movie.
That's mine. I had it first. Can I talk to the manager? but then she chooses the clown costume, which is the iconic one that Michael wears when he's a kid and he murders his sister back in I think 1963 or 65. But man, so Brady is a dick. Like really, he is. I think he's a monster. Like this whole scene. There were so many scenes in this movie, and like this one, I just couldn't. So, and Rachel's not the best too. We'll get into some of her mistakes and pitfalls that she makes, but in the middle of the store, they're French.
I know. I said that. Yeah, they're making out, and she said, "I got to talk to you about Jamie." Or
My
something
parents'
like that.
babysitter canceled.
So? And before she told
So
him,
I have to watch Jamie
that's what
tonight.
happened. Ridiculous.
Yeah, they made out, and just his reaction to this whole thing. He's
This
like,
morning?
I know.
We found out this morning.
You found out
When
this
did you tell
morning
me
and you
before?
didn't
It's
tell
5
me right
o'clock now,
away. Like,
Rachel.
geez, it's like, all right, there's no
Don't get
freaking cell
angry.
phones. Maybe
I'm
they
not
didn't
angry,
see each
it's
other.
just-
Well, maybe he had this big date going on.
Can I come
Maybe
over
he set
after
up a lot of
Jamie
things.
goes to
Maybe he
sleep?
can't get his
My
money
parents
back
are
at
going to come home
reservations.
early tonight.
Well, I don't know if you notice.
So?
Within seconds, he's checking out Kelly Meeker
I don't
while
know,
she's
Brady.
putting the whatever bottles those are. I don't know. Is that
Okay.
like aftershave or something?
Guess I'll call you later.
It looks like that
How
cheap
long has she put
alcohol.
those away? She's been standing there, and she's been standing there doing it for how long? And and everything's already on the shelves. There's nothing. There's no space on the shelves. So when she told Wade to leave, she still had the same bottles in her hand.
That's great. Oh shit, that's so awesome. It's true. And it's funny, that line, the director, like the other line was supposed to be something else. And Dwight Little, the director, said, hey, Kathleen, can you say fuck off, Wade? And she's like, all right. And it's cool if you watch it. It changes the focus from her to Wade when he's like cowering away. And she smirks. She like loses it for a second. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. So again, now she puts on the costume, right? She's trying it on in the store,
Yes.
Jamie. She looks in the mirror. She sees Michael putting the mask on. And then, like I talked about it before, this is one of those scenes you're like, oh my God, is he really there? Even though we saw the mask move. And I thought this was cool. She falls into the mirror, glass goes everywhere, everybody runs over, and you're like, holy shit, he's gone. No.
This is the second time, though, it fooled me. Because I got fooled in the bedroom, too. You know, when he was grabbing her under the bed. So I wasn't sure what's a dream, what's not a dream. Because, I mean, they're clearly making it that Jamie has major issues.
But she sees him. He's really there. This time he's really there because they show the reflection in the glass.
Right. No, that's what I mean. So, like, I didn't know. Like, I'm fooled. Like, oh, yeah, it's only a dream. Like, the first time I'm like, oh, no, he's really there. No, it's a dream. So now I'm like, no, it's a dream. Now he's really there. So, like, as a viewer, never seen the movie, I had no idea what was going to be a dream and what was going to be real.
So I've been to a lot of drugstores in my life. The shelves in drugstore on the aisles, not that tall. Michael Myers is like an NBA player, and no one sees him in the store? No one?
Not to mention he's wearing a mask.
How does he leave?
And I'm assuming he walked through the front door with all those bandages on his face. No one saw that.
Maybe they thought it was Halloween and he was playing the Invisible Man.
Well, was it Halloween yet?
It's Halloween already, yeah. It's trick-or-treating.
Oh, okay.
Like in a couple hours she goes. But no, he had to go in there and he had to leave. He had to leave.
And the doors back then have like the beep where every time you open a door, you know, the little doorbell goes off.
I would think so, or a bell at least, something.
Something. They definitely had a bell back then.
Maybe he thought of it. He snipped the bell, or he taped it, or something. I don't know. So then we get. Oh, we talked about this earlier a little bit. The Loomis hitchhiking. That was funny. Like
he had such a bad limp too. How far did he walk?
Like, I don't know how far he made it.
And then the car cheerleaders.
Oh,
I mean, like it wasn't necessary, but it was so funny.
Oh, I love it.
Like, you know, and eat my dust. Is that where that term comes from?
Oh,
doing that to somebody?
I guess so. Yeah, eat my dust.
Yeah, I was like, you know, you hear that, but I wonder if that's where it came from, like doing that to somebody. Like, who was the first person to ever think of that?
Maybe like Henry Ford. He was going 15 miles an hour. Some dust went up in some guy's face. But
have you ever done that to someone?
Burning it. I get cars that I drive like an old woman. I drive like a grandma. I go 2 over cruise control and I'm chilled. That's all I need. I don't need no fuzz on me. So the next
fuzz.
The fuzz. What?
Who says fuzz?
I just said fuzz.
What is this, 1950?
The 5-0? 5-0?
All right.
So how much did you love this the character actor that picks him up?
The guy from The Wedding Singer, right?
And I should know his name. Pee-wee? He's the homeless guy that throws Pee-wee off the train. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. He basically plays like a loony in every movie. Oh yeah, he's a guy I really should know his name. He's like a legendary character actor.
But the funny thing is though, he looked old here, and he was in A Wedding Singer, and he looked old. Like, you know, like this guy looks like he looks old for forever.
Yeah, he doesn't. Age.
He just has that.
He
look.
Stays. Well, he doesn't age. Once he hits 65, he doesn't age. He hit 65 and it froze.
Is he still alive?
Could you imagine? And he looks the same. So I
That'd
love
be amazing. But
I love because he's probably been an actor forever. I really don't know when he started, so I really only remember him older. But I could see him being in like old westerns, like
Gone
younger.
with the Wind.
But it was cool, like seeing him and Donald Pleasance like interact, because it was funny when he's like car trouble, and he's like, I guess you can call it that, like, because my car just exploded.
How quickly would you want to get out of the car though? After like sitting with him and hearing him talk and what he, I would say, all right, this is good. You drop me off right here. Like I wouldn't stay that long in the car with him.
Well, how would you get?
Seem stable.
Would you get past that? He said he's been chasing something for 30 years and it's in this direction, or once he pulled the bottle of liquor out,
and they're both drinking it. But again, this is the 80s, right? So okay,
no rules. But they kind of have the same goal. I know Donald Pleasance is only. I don't know, 25 years. I don't know how long he's been working with Michael, but since he was younger,
but he wasn't talking about Michael Myers, right? So, like, what was he chasing?
Well, he just said he was a priest. He was a preacher. So he was saying Satan.
No, I know that.
No, I know, but I'm saying he was chasing like evil. So they're kind of like doing the same thing.
Is he chasing the same evil that's possessed Michael Myers?
Oh, I don't know.
But he's another character that you don't see again.
I know.
Like it's almost like this movie has a bunch of cameos.
Sort of.
Then they're done. Yeah.
Because you could have like again. I think it again. I love this movie, and in the same sense, it might have worked. Adding in the little kills like the girl in the car, Wade if he died, or even the priest. What if the preacher drops off Loomis at the police station and Michael's right there? Kills him real quick or something. And then at the end of the movie, the final scene, wherever they're at, all these characters that we haven't seen are stacked up or something. I don't know.
No, I agree.
But Loomis, how about Loomis, man? This freaking guy. Oh, first we get, oh my gosh, dude. How about Jamie's parents? They leave and Michael's peeping outside the house. He's peeping on Rachel and then, yeah.
No, neighbors are never around in this movie, except for when they're trick or treating a little bit. You see a couple, but outside of that, between hearing screams, running, or even seeing a peep. Now, this seems like a very small town where neighbors are probably extremely nosy. I doubt anybody could get away with being a peeping Tom.
Oh, exactly. I think you said it best. There's no neighbors. Like we see trick or treaters, and then there's one point. It's a ghost town. What side of town are they in? Town.
Correct. No, and again, it's Halloween. So how does it become a ghost town?
Or they're all at the party that the Carruthers went to. One party, all the adults went and let their kids to face the boogeyman. It seems that way.
Well, what do they call him? He's not the boogeyman. What do they call him?
Well, they call him the Shape.
Myers have a name. The Shape. Okay. Why is that?
Because that's all he is, a shape, I guess. I never knew that, really. And I love these movies, and I saw it somewhere it was written, and I'm like, the Shape. And in the books, like the novelizations, and I'm like, I don't get it, but I guess, I don't know.
These are based on books, Halloween?
No, they're not. They were based on like a script that was put together. Like, you got to watch the movies that made us on Netflix. It's really good. For this movie, it's like a great one.
I watched Friday the 13th one, so I got to hit Halloween.
Yeah. So dude. So then they go in the house. They leave to go trick or treating. Rachel and Jamie after Michael's peeping outside. When they leave, Michael goes in the house, and right away he knows exactly what bedroom to go into. He finds the photo of Lori, and he even finds a photo of himself as a kid.
Yeah, he knows way too much information without getting any information.
Yeah,
really. I mean, it's. But there seems to be a connection. Obviously, it's a connection with Jamie, but I feel like there's a connection with Loomis also. And I feel like they're just. I don't know if maybe it's an energy possessing thing, but he knows exactly where to go at all times.
Oh, all times.
And maybe because the energy he has with Jamie is maybe that's how he's able to do it, like twins. You know how twins can feel. You're like, no, maybe that's something.
No, that makes sense that he could like feel where she's at. So how about, again, this isn't like making fun of cops, but in movies they always have like the doofy cop. So when Loomis shows up and he asks for Sheriff Brackett, who's in the first one, the second one, and he was actually in the newest movie, and he was one of the guys in Grizzly 2. He was one of the hunters in Grizzly 2.
Is he really?
Yeah. He's a great character actor.
So he's one of the guys that played Grab Ass?
He was one of the guys that played Grab Ass, yes. So he walks in, he asks for Sheriff Brackett, and the guy goes, "Oh, he's retired. If you want to find me, you have to go 3,000 miles south." All right. So from Oregon to New Jersey is like 2,700 miles. I don't think it's 3,000 miles from Illinois to Florida.
How do you know it's Florida?
That's what he said. He said he retired to Fort. You have to go down to St. Petersburg.
Oh, he said it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I love that Loomis right away, and that's what I love about him because he knows what happens. Obviously, 10 years ago, everyone should know when he says, "Hey, Michael Myers is gonna come back." People within seconds should be like, "All right, guys, let's shut this shit down." No, they like question him.
Well, think about this: the kids know in the school.
Yeah.
So how do the cops not know? Like, how are they not like concerned? And you would think that they would also know who Loomis was, because now Loomis is in 2 movies, so he's obviously basically been there twice for both series of killings. Why are they very clueless? I mean, I'm surprised. Like I guess the new chief seems to listen to Loomis a little bit more than I expected him to. Like, he wasn't so much of a hard ass. But yeah, how do they not know? I mean, the kids in middle school know, or elementary school know.
That's Kelly Meeker's dad, Ben Meeker, Sheriff Ben Meeker.
Well, you didn't know that until later on, right?
Yeah. No, you don't know. Yeah.
You mean Kelly Meeker just walks around with no pants the rest of the movie?
Yes. That's terrible.
Even when there's company that no. I didn't want to watch anymore until she put pants on.
Cops do it by the books. I love that. And then the fact that they had her change for no reason to put on something else that was skimpy.
No, she spilled something. She threw wine on her or something.
Oh yeah, she threw hot coffee on her chest. You're right.
Hot coffee. Yeah. So yeah.
In the interview, when Kathleen goes, because I guess she probably even forgot that because so many years, like she's like, I don't know, and then I changed into this flannel, maybe because Dad's cop buddies are there, and she's like, do you do it by the books, or are you one of those off the book guys? So awesome. So then, how about this, Michael? This guy is so smart. He's been in a coma 10 years. He knows. Boom, cut the phone line. The long distance phone lines, is that a thing? There was long distance phone lines and local phone lines back in the day?
If there are, how would he know even which one to cut?
That's true. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, cut it.
I mean, he that's what he's got to be more human than monster, because there's no way he could do the things he does without being human.
No, exactly.
Cutting the phone line? Like, why would you think that? Like Jason, the only thing we ever seen him do is maybe climb on Jason Goes to Manhattan. He climbs that thing. That ladder. Outside of that, he doesn't really do anything else besides walk. I don't know. Myers is human. Myers is like a serial killer.
Yeah, just for him to know to cut the right line. But even then, shouldn't they be like, Ben Meeker was like, okay, this is like getting a little crazy. And then we cut to Rachel and Jamie's having the time of her life. This is probably the first time she's ever gone trick-or-treating because she knows there's something up with it. And I think she knows about Uncle Boogeyman. She kind of has to know about like the clown outfit and some lore. She has the photos, but she's having so much fun. And then we get Frankenstein douchebag from earlier that was picking on her. Cool clown costume, which it's a cool costume, but it sounded fake. I thought they were going to do something to her.
Oh. Well, first of all, if she did know about the past, why would she pick the clown costume? If she knows that's like, isn't that what you said Michael Myers wore when he was a kid?
That's what he wore when he killed his sister, yeah.
Right. So why would she wear that? I question if she really did know that he wore that.
Yeah, I don't know. It was in that small box with all the photos, so I'm sure she must have seen it. Maybe she didn't know like who it was or exactly what. I have no idea.
I feel like she knows way too much about what happened. Like, because, I mean, you think about it. If she's only, like, say, I don't know, how old is she? Like 9 in this movie?
Yeah.
You know, like, okay. So, who's telling her the grisly details of what happened, you know, with her uncle and these murders? Like, what do you wait till she's older? Like, you know, like, I mean,
so.
like, why even mention telling her? Why tell her anything?
I know.
Like, she seems to know a lot, and that's why she screwed up. I mean, maybe if they thought, like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't have told her.
And everybody knows. The fact that all the kids, like you said earlier, all the kids know the details of all of this, which is frightening.
Unless maybe the kids knew, because their parents said, oh, you know, and they're the ones that told Jamie in the first place.
Oh, maybe. That must have been a tough talk. Is my uncle the boogeyman? So then we get Michael peeping. Some of his peeping in this with the trick-or-treating, you see him pop out of the bush, just so creepy. Like, I love the mask in this movie. The original, like, Shatner mask is so cool, but this one's just so, I don't know, it just has this, like, look to it that's, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It just freaks me out.
I didn't even realize it was a different mask. I thought it was the same Michael Myers mask.
Yeah, it looks, if you look at them, they're definitely different. It's not like the same exact one. So then they go to a new house. Cops do it by the book. Kelly Meeker answers the door, and they walk up, and she like kind of looks at Rachel, and then I know her. You hear going down the stairs, and it's Brady. Brady gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
In the candy jar, because he was handing out candy.
Oh, yeah.
But why? If he's obviously, we think he's dating Rachel. Why? You would think he knows he's doing something behind her back. Why would he show his face anywhere in this small town, knowing that, you know, people might see them together or something like that? Like, isn't he kind of doing something secret?
Yeah, why? Yeah, why would you go to the door? Door opens, I hit the floor or hide behind a couch. I don't need to see the kids.
And she's already there, so there's no need for him to come down anyway. Yeah, so he deserves to get caught.
He does, and then he blames Rachel.
Oh, he said, what did he say? He goes, I was pissed off.
Yeah.
That was his excuse for cheating. I was pissed off.
What a dick. And then right from here is when Jamie goes off by herself. Rachel's looking for it. And then we cut to, because Ben Meeker finally like put the hammer down and had the news issue a report like, hey, everybody go home. Business is shut down. Then we got all these drunk guys at the bar that are drinking on Halloween. Maybe that's all the people in the neighborhood are at that bar. They're at the one party and they're at the bar.
And the bar. Could be. But, okay, so, you know, I do like Rachel. I feel like she's been very motherly to Jamie. But twice now, she let Jamie go on her own.
Oh, yeah.
At the store. And now in the streets. How is she letting Jamie walk around and not, because she's focused on Brady, that Jamie's now lost.
Oh.
You know, she doesn't know where Jamie is.
In the store, give her a pass because it's a store. She's checking something out. But here, she has to know.
She was making out. Like, she wasn't paying attention. Like, Brady is such a distraction to her that she loses track of Jamie.
That is true.
And yes, she has to know that Jamie's not near her anymore. You know, so I'm not surprised that she can't find her. And
they didn't argue that long. How far ahead could she have gotten? A house? 2 houses?
Yeah. Unless she like cut through like the yards and went to like the other side of the block. Because it seemed like she was like, I mean, again, we talk about it like a ghost town. Like she was literally no one was around.
Yeah. No, exactly. So then, like I mentioned, the bar owners, I love that they're like, all right, let's call Sheriff Meeker and see what's going on. It's just ringing. They always answer. All right, guys, I'm closing up. We're going to go down there. And everyone in the bar was like, all right, let's go get our guns and climb into, everyone had a pickup truck. Every single person, pickup truck, and then they drive off.
Well, look at the bar.
Yeah.
Surprised that everybody had a pickup truck. And I love the fact that they have the guys standing in the back of the pickup truck.
Oh, I know. Oh, that scene later with that, awesome. So cool. So then Loomis and Meeker, they go, let's go to Rachel. Let's go to Jamie's house where she lives. Check it out. They go in, they walk around, and he goes, he's been here. And we see the photos on the ground still. And then he goes, well, how do you know that? And he goes, look. Then we see a dead dog. And I should have took a picture of it. But the dog that we saw with Jamie earlier, after she got into that fight with Rachel, sort of, when she's like,
don't tell me it's a different dog.
Oh, not even close. The dog was a golden shepherd, a German, like a golden, whatever you call it, golden lab. Earlier, the dog dead in the closet was gray, or like brown gray, and small. It fit in the back of a closet, just like laying there. It looked like a pound puppy.
Maybe the other dog probably ran away, and they had to quickly grab another dog.
Oh no!
Give me another dog.
Maybe that's Gordon. Dude, I swear to God, I will go nuts because Gordon was a golden lab, right?
He was.
Oh my God, I swear to God, when we're done with this, if I check and I find out if it's the same dog, well, maybe not a connection. I don't think Gordon jumped out of Crystal Lake and landed in Haddonfield, but if that's the same stunt dog or dog actor, oh my God.
I like the connection better. That he found a new family.
And then he died. Picked the wrong time. They went to Haddonfield.
Why would Michael Myers kill the dog?
He's a serial killer. That's what serial killers do. They kill anything.
I guess, but he always seems to kill people that are just in his way. I mean, that dog seemed like a very friendly dog. I don't think that dog was any trouble.
Maybe he's allergic. He was like, the dog would not stop licking him. So then we get cut to Bucky. Bucky, the electrical worker, which Bucky was the name of the prop master. So he put his name on the helmet and his name on the shirt. So his name's in the movie.
That's awesome.
So cool. He's the one who made the
and again,
cops do it by the book shirt.
And he's working late at night. How late is it? It's late at night and he's alone. Always this one person, that's it. No one else is working.
Even if I wasn't in a town with a homicidal maniac on the loose, I wouldn't want to go alone on Halloween. Like, no matter what, even right now, on this Sunday, if somebody's like, hey, Doug, you got to go by yourself, I don't even want to go in the basement on a Tuesday.
Why?
Because I don't know.
You think the boogeyman's in there?
The boogeyman could be down there.
You know what? I almost agree with you. Every time I shut the light off in the basement, I have to run upstairs. Almost.
Oh, always. Well, the movie that ruined it for me was People Under the Stairs, because the first house I lived in, we had the same wood slats in the wall, and they were like spaced out the same in this movie. So like you could like put your So that ruined it for me. But yeah, Bucky. But how funny is it when Bucky is standing there, hey, what are you doing over there? I'm not scared of you. And Michael walk so slow. And then Bucky's like, all right, I gotta go check this over here. He's walking normal speed, normal, gait when he's walking. Michael takes a little baby step and then's on top of him.
Well, he does move. He does move very quick in short distances because, again, when Loomis was shooting at him, he disappeared pretty quick.
He did, yeah.
So he does move, faster than well, Jason does the same thing. Jason could be standing so far away, and they're running, and somehow Jason shows up right there. So
yeah,
he might have the same teleportation.
That's true. Yeah, no, he does. There's one scene in this movie I wrote down. He teleports, not even. Well, yeah. So he throws Bucky in, and I don't know. I've never seen one of those things in real life. I've seen I guess sort of like those electrical fields, where they do that.
You drive by them, yeah, right.
But when they pulled out, it reminded me of a Motley Crue concert stage, because that's all it looked like was where the lights hang from. Because it's probably what it was. It probably wasn't a real one, obviously.
Are they that dangerous that would happen?
I think so. That's why those things are fenced up pretty serious. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's that really serious fencing? I mean,
not that one.
You easily could climb over.
Yeah.
That one had I don't think that one had any fencing.
No. Yeah, Michael just walked in there.
He really did.
So then Rachel, cut to her. She can't find Jamie. Like we said, total total ghost town. I wrote, so bad to say, I wrote, is this a Jehovah neighborhood? Because there was no decorations. It's not even nobody was home. There was nothing. There was no decorations, no pumpkins, no nothing. And she's like,
let me ask you this, because it seems that they're trick-or-treating pretty late at night. Maybe everybody's in bed sleeping, and they're out like, why is she waiting this long to go trick-or-treating? Because it was dark. It was like late at night.
well, remember, this is back in the day. If you remember when you were younger, that's when they used to do daylight savings in October. So it was earlier, even up until even when I was trick-or-treating. It was dark when we used to trick-or-treat. So yeah, it's pitch dark. It could be 6 o'clock right now. No, it was like 8 o'clock because that's when she wanted to go home.
Not when you're eight years old.
Well, she's supposed to be with an adult. The adult was worried about her not boyfriend hooking up with Kelly Meeker. Priorities, Rachel. Get them together.
Well, nothing. Listen, in Brady's defense, I would take Meeker also over Rachel.
You got to see the behind the scenes. Yeah, totally. But you got to see the behind the scenes because they said when they would shoot the scenes like the makeout scene with Ellie or the makeout scene with Kathleen. Kathleen was like, yeah, Sasha would be like with Ellie on those days and they'd be like, oh, buddy, buddy. And then he'd be buddy, buddy with me. It's a pretty cool behind the scenes. The fourth movie it's pretty cool. So then Rachel, she's walking and then she looks over, sees a shadowy figure. Like I've seen this movie a ton of times and I still get like, it's very rare in any of these movies that someone actually escapes until like the end of the movie, So this scene is so cool because I never see people run away from Michael or whatever bad, serial killer slasher, and just how she flies over the fence and just this whole scene's great.
It's great and creepy at the same time.
Yeah.
Because of what it turns out to be. Like it's almost disturbing. It's because again, this is a small town. Knowing the sensitivity of the subject, why would you do that? Like, it just seems very disturbing.
Oh my God. You know what's funny? I was trying to think of which we'll get to that scene in a few minutes. The coveralls you know what? Now I'm thinking, was that Michael chasing? Because even after the scene that we're going to talk about in a little bit when we see the other Michaels, which we'll just talk about it right now. So we have that scene. So Rachel comes out, she sees Jamie, and she kind of gets mad at Jamie, which is kind of a bitch move. Like, why would she get mad at her? Yeah. Well, Jamie shouldn't have went, I guess, that far into the neighborhood where there's no trick-or-treating.
I think considering she just saw the guy that she likes hooking up with someone else, she's still a little angry, so she's probably taking it out of Jamie.
Yeah, not cool. So here's the part, like, Loomis and Meeker find both of them. And they have no idea they have zero clue what's going on. The only thing Rachel in her head, this creepy guy chased me. It's not like she says Michael Myers was chasing me. Nothing.
Right.
But she should know. She was probably like 7 or 8 years old when it all happened. But
how is Meeker okay with Loomis having a gun? Like in this scene, how is he okay with it?
He doesn't care. They're at this point. Loomis somehow
he really doesn't.
No rules.
There are no rules because even the guys in the pickup trucks are running around with guns, and he's okay with it.
Well, he is until he is until he isn't. Like when we get to that.
Okay.
But so this scene, this is right after they pick them up. So oh my God. So then we see them get into the car, and Rachel's like, hey, Jamie, it's going to be all right. Loomis looks over. He sees a Michael Myers.
Is that him? Yes.
And then we see another Michael Myers. And wait, one more the last Michael Myers is lazy. He doesn't even have it zippered up.
I was going to say he doesn't zip it up.
He just got done taking a shit. Like, he's not even worried about anything. But yeah, so...
But the fact that they're standing there like that... Shoot.
Yeah. Ballsy,
and Loomis is going to shoot. And Loomis was in a
Get home, damn it!
Didn't even say anything.
There's a
Loomis said,
curfew.
Hey, put your
I
gun
catch
away.
your ass, it'll be a weekend in jail.
Loomis almost shot an innocent person.
I know, but I feel like I cut it early, but I feel like right after that, you see another. Oh no! You know what you see next? When they leave, Michael is in the road behind the cop car. So Meeker doesn't have a rear view mirror that he saw that. So that was him chasing Rachel. It was just the timing of the other three guys.
Right. Okay, interesting.
Because the way she got away, she flies over that fence. That was so cool, man.
She does. Yeah. No, that was awesome.
And like, why would they sell those masks in that town? Like you mentioned earlier, it makes
I said that. And not only the mask, they're selling the whole outfit. I mean, the mechanic's outfit and everything.
Well, they just have to work a day, Maybe Gary sells them. He sells the mask and he sells the coveralls in a combo, $25.
Gary seems like a problem.
Gary is a problem. Well, that's why you see Loomis. That's why you see Loomis. But Loomis isn't there.
Like I used to. I don't know why anybody's seeing Loomis, because Loomis is a nut job.
Yeah.
So
then Loomis and Meeker go, hey, we're going to go to the police station, girls. We're going to go get everyone. And they walk in. Carnage. That place looks like a tornado went through it.
Oh, okay. How many people would be at that police station that one guy they couldn't take care of?
I know.
They're police officers. You're going to tell me no one had a shotgun there? It seems like the whole town has shotguns. So you're going to tell me no one had anything at all that could have stopped one guy walking in with a mask on?
That and how about the fact that where that guy was positioned, they were in the police station for like a while. Like they had to walk pretty far to get to this guy's dead body. This guy didn't see Michael walk that far. No one saw him.
And again, you can assume police station, even back then, I'm sure they had those cameras, that you could see as someone's walking in. You're going to tell me no one noticed that either? The dispatcher's usually right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody should have saw something, or it's that small of a town that the deputy was the only other guy and that was like the rookie or something, but no.
Listen, Myers seems to be able to sneak. He's like a ninja. He's able to sneak everywhere and no one sees him.
How about the fact that Myers cut the guy's arm off or broke it off because they showed the little nub in between the posts, so maybe he was just having fun with it and just wanted to rip it off. I don't know.
Well, what was his point of going there?
Maybe it was like disabling the police force. Maybe he thought all the cops were there. You could take them all out. I have no idea. I have no clue.
I just thought of that. There was really no reason for him to go there.
Yeah, he already went to where Jamie's at, and then
right.
Yeah,
he's very impatient because he easily could wait at Jamie's house.
Sit in the closet.
Sit in a closet. I mean, like what's the hurry? Why is he just? It has to be done right away.
Maybe it has to be done on Halloween. Because that's when he killed his sister and he tried to kill her mom.
So you're telling me if the clock turns to 12 the next day, in the morning, he'll be like, oh, I gotta wait another year.
No, he turns into a pumpkin. Or he goes into a coma. Only on Halloween he gets out of his coma. It's a very rare 364-day coma. But no, so then the next part is the militia. These redneck militia show up in their pickup trucks. They're worried about everything. And Meeker, calm, he's like, oh no, it's okay. We got it all under control. And Loomis is like, no control. Michael Myers has returned home.
Meeker seems so pissed when he said this.
Oh, yeah, dude.
He just stirred the pot, But again, now you have these rednecks that are standing. How does that work? How are you driving and standing on the back of a pickup truck? How do you fly out of there?
I don't know. Hit one bump, fly off.
Oh, we lost Joe.
So the one line that I wish they would have done more with, I guess they couldn't have done it because then it'd been like, who's another character we're introducing? So they're so far into the movie now. But one of the guys says, hey, Will, Joe lost his kid 10 years ago. And it's like, whoa, dude, that's deep. That's in Halloween Kills, the newest one. They brought back characters from the original one. And hearing that line, that's okay, I get it now. I know obviously, if you knew people died in your town, you might be motivated to form a militia. But if you knew a buddy of yours kid died, so that like makes sense how crazy these guys are to try to find him and kill him.
Yeah, but they don't correlate with one of the people that Myers killed in the second or first one, right? So like, did Michael Myers kill his son? They made it sound like he did, but wouldn't he been one of the main characters that he killed in the first two movies?
He could have been somebody in the hospital. He could have been somebody that worked at the hospital in the second one, or Bob, maybe Bob the boyfriend in the first one. I don't know. It could have been one of those people, but that was just a cool like throwaway line that you have. But now here's a part that's so cool because it's like a thrill. Oh, yeah, it's a horror, but more of like a thriller. Like you're on the edge of your seat. So when you get the deputy and he goes into his car and Michael's laying in the back seat, dude, the payoff for that was not as cool as if each of the times that you probably thought like me, like, oh, he's going to jump out now.
Oh, 100%. I thought he's going to slice the guy's neck, right off the bat. But again, he's not a monster. He's a human, and he knew to wait, so he knows exactly where to go.
Yes. Exactly.
He is way too smart in this movie. Way too smart. We thought he was smart by just driving in the other movie. No. In fact, he's smarter in this movie than he was in 5.
Oh, yeah. No, the fact that he knows to listen to know, like, okay, he's going to be going to wherever that Jamie's going to be. Let me wait in this car. No, you're 100% right.
He's too human in this movie. He really is. I mean, and I'm okay with that, but then you can't. To me, you can't have the super strength and then the smarts, like the creative. Like there has to be a give and take there. And I feel like if you have the super strength, then you're a monster.
Yeah,
but clearly he's not a monster. He's way too creative.
No, he is way too. And then we talked about the militia. This is when they think this is even crazier because I was mixing up my head in 5. Remember in 5 when they see the guy in the mask and the van the cars crash into him and kill him. So for some reason that bled into this movie, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's what happens here." No, they freaking shoot somebody not even wearing the mask.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Oh,
that was messed up.
They walk up, they're like, "Oh my god, that's Pat Fitzgerald."
Who's the one that said that though? Was it the guy that lost his son?
I don't know. I don't remember. It was more of a throwaway line. Because the one guy said, oh, he lost his son. And I think there was a guy they zoomed in on. So it could have been him. But that's just crazy.
Like, I wonder if it was... I would think, like, it would make sense if it was the guy that lost his son. Because now he's just so angry that anyone... You just think Mike Myers is there. Like, let's just shoot. Like, let's shoot first, think later.
But what are the chances, that... Again, it's Michael Myers. He doesn't use a gun. He doesn't use weapons that are from like a far. It's not Jason shooting an arrow or throwing an axe or something. He uses a knife for the most part, or things in close range. Why not confirm who it is before you shoot from 50 yards away and just like kill this guy cold blood? And those guys, their reaction was like, "Holy shit!" And then they kind of like, until later, they're like, "All right, let's like take a back seat to everything that's going on."
But they say that later on, but they're still looking for him, right?
Well, they sort of are, yeah. Well,
yeah, but
no,
actually, no. I think that I got you. You know what? It would have been funny if it was like the old man that was the priest, like just to throw him back in there, like he was, I don't know, he was doing something weird in the bushes.
He was getting hammered in the bush. And then we cut to you get Kelly and Brady humping and kissing by the fire, and Brady says, "Oh, I think I'm in heaven." And I wrote, "Us too, Brady. Us too." And then
I'll give this movie credit, or no credit. They didn't follow the rules. This movie was made in the 80s.
I was really surprised because as a kid, I remembered it. I guess because as a kid, you're like close as
anything. Well, listen, as a kid, anything close you're excited about. But they didn't show anything, and for 80s, horror trope. It doesn't follow the rules.
No blood, no boobs. They really don't show boobs.
No, they don't. That was the closest, and you thought you might have, and no.
I'm saying in all the movies.
Oh,
5?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember in 5.
Yeah.
And then and then they get cock blocked by her dad, who comes home with Rachel, Jamie, and Loomis. Could you imagine if you're him? You just had this terrible moment, and they have no idea what's going on. And then you get your sort of girlfriend ex that you just had that.
You see this a lot in movies, though. Like, oh, my father's home. Hurry up, get dressed. Like, does that really happen? Like that? Oh, my father will kill you if he finds you. Like, wouldn't you know like who her father was? Like, Brady seemed like he didn't know who her father was.
Well, that's pretty. No, he should know. He knew because they said Wade when they were putting Wade on to hit on her. They were like, I'm not scared that her dad's a sheriff. So no, I guess he knew, but maybe he didn't think that he was like that crazy. No, I've dealt with some crazy dads when I was younger.
Okay, all right.
But no, so then we get Michael again.
Wait, before you go any further. So she is worried that her dad's going to see them together, yet she decides not to put pants on. So when the father came home, Brady's on the chair, and she's next to him with no pants on.
I know.
So that kind of made no sense.
That is true. Wouldn't the dad be like, hey, what the hell were you guys doing?
Yeah. And wouldn't he tell his daughter, all right, put your pants on. I got my another cop coming here now. We have a bunch of company. You know, like, no, she walks around no pants on the whole movie.
She doesn't give a shit. Cops do by the books, you know?
Okay.
So then, man, so cool, man. So you have the deputy goes into the house, and Meeker's like, what kind of weapons do you have? I have a shotgun in my trunk. He's like, go get it. So when he goes to the trunk, I'm thinking payoff. The back door's open. So the guy's like, that's kind of weird, right? Wouldn't he go inside and be like, hey, Meeker, did you go into my car because the back door was open? No, nothing. But I was expecting like Michael to pop out of a bush. No,
of course.
The guy goes in the house. I thought that was so great.
But why didn't Michael shut the door?
Oh, he should have. Hey, humans make mistakes, right?
Okay.
And then Brady gets a gun. How about that? When Brady gets the gun, then he has that line, like, if I catch you with my daughter, I'll use that gun on you. Just great.
But again, he's allowing someone else to walk around with a weapon to basically murder someone. Like, I mean, yes, I know Michael Myers is a killer, but you're going to have a citizen who's not a cop possibly shoot someone?
Not smart. Well, he does a few non-smart things pretty soon.
No, I know, but I just feel like, like he's allowing these rednecks to go around, try to kill someone. Like, he's allowing murder to happen for the citizens of the town.
Yeah, well, he has no one left. You got to think that how many cops were there? There's really just that deputy with the stash that's left. All the other cops are either dead or
so they're honorary cops for the day?
I guess so. Because when he gives Brady that gun, and Brady's first move is, hey, which later it kind of like proves me wrong what I'm about to say, but he's like, hey, you know what? Maybe Michael Myers is going to go through the roof window because that's what his job is. He goes all the way upstairs, locks the attic window. That doesn't come into play.
I know.
Oh, it does come into play later when they run upstairs.
Oh, that's how I was going to say, maybe that's how they get out of it. No,
yeah.
It doesn't, though.
Yeah, because remember, they can't open it fast enough. They have to like bang it open because he locked it. Right. So
that's right.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
That worked out.
See? Full circle. Full circle.
Full circle. So then Rachel goes down. She goes to talk to the cop. And I love this guy. Doesn't even realize, like, he knows. Meeker told him, like, hey, this guy Myers killed all these people. He must have been around 10 years ago unless he just moved here. I love he's like, won't be long. And then I love, as soon as Rachel leaves that room, in, like, the back, you see the Myers mask. And that is, like...
Yeah. No,
chills.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then right here, Loomis, he goes, oh, yeah, I'm going to leave. Because Loomis leaves right away. What is that? Because he goes, nobody knows how to stop him, but damn it, I have to try.
What is he going to do?
His plan is to go back to Jamie's house and wait for him. And I'm like, why would you leave?
Why are they holed up in that house?
I guess they don't know about the connection that you kind of brought up, which is a great point. Like that twins connection. maybe they have some kind of thing like that. Well, no, he doesn't really have that because he used the deputy to know how to go by laying in the car. So yeah, I don't know.
But why they hold up at the sheriff's house? Like, why do they think Myers is going to show up there?
Why wouldn't he show up there?
No, why would he? Because Loomis is leaving to go to Jamie's house. They're locking everything up in the police officer's house. So why would they lock all that up?
Oh,
If
yeah, maybe
Loomis
they're just doing it like just in case. But no, you're right. Like, especially if Loomis
makes no sense.
Yeah, if Loomis is like, hey, I'm going to go to Jamie's house. I'm going to leave you guys here. Let me take a gun, a weapon, just in case Myers comes here. No, you're right.
Yeah, but you know what, though? And we've discussed this when we saw the other Halloween, that Loomis and Michael are kind of, like, Loomis is the bad guy. Like, we thought, like, in another movie, maybe he's doing some kind of plan with Michael Myers.
Oh, they're colluding. So, like when you accuse the mayor in Jaws of letting...
Correct.
Jaws.
Because everything starts happening after Loomis leaves.
That is true. Maybe they are in a little collusion for it, because he just so happens to come back just in time.
Every single time.
I think you got something there.
Michael never kills him. Just saying.
But Loomis does try to kill him. He just, he fired 6 bullets in his chest.
But does he try to kill him?
Oh,
he misses a lot too.
You think he strategically missed him?
Yes, I do.
To make it look real when the cops get there. They check. Well, these shots are pretty close. He's like, I tried. So then this is when Rachel and Kelly are arguing, and she's like, I didn't know you were with Brady, and she's like, you knew I was with Brady. Here's some coffee, and she pours the coffee onto her.
First she says, I didn't know you were Brady, and then she says, well, you can't blame me, or something like that. Like she admitted it right away. Like she didn't she lied at first and really didn't ride that lie. She admitted it within seconds.
Yeah, and made it worse. I just remember the line when he said that, because she goes, if that's how you're gonna treat a man, that won't be the last man that you lose or something. I'm like, wow. Then hot coffee to the chest. It could have been burns. That was like right out of the pot. That's hot.
It
was. And then we get Meeker. Now he has to leave because he gets the call that there was the murder in the park, that the militia accidentally killed the guy. So he friggin' leaves. And then he has this like super lock on his door that you can't leave. Somehow this lock makes it so you can't get out.
So what is he hiding there? Like, why does he need a super lock like that?
Oof. He has to keep Kelly in. The boy, all men of all ages probably try to come over there, and he's like, I'm gonna lock the door on the weekends.
That is true.
Keep her in and keep them out. So then, man, this next scene is so great. The lighting in this scene is just absolutely it's my favorite.
Well, the whole movie has that dark look though, with the lights, like between the rain and everything else. Like the whole movie is dark like that. Like very cool. I mean, I think that they did a great job with that.
Dude, when she has the coffee and just the way they're doing that POV, like that steady cam shot of her walking and looking around, and hey, I bought you some coffee. And then she even like makes a comment about her dad, like making small talk with the guy that she thinks is in the chair, and puts it down, lights the match, and you see his face.
But again, so he's waiting in that chair, like there's way too much planning with Michael Myers, like way too much. Like that is a very cool strategic planning, like waiting, like trickery, and Jason would never be able to pull that off.
It's like MTV Punk'd. He just like pops out of the chair. You thought this is the deputy, but guess what? It's Michael Myers. But no, the way he gets it up, as soon as she sees it, like his bloody face, then she looks over to the chair, and the music starts, and he rocks one time forward, gets up, and then just uses that shotgun. And the way she described the hours that she had to film that scene, sitting on a bike seat and just like flying into a wall, that looks so awesome. That's like iconic.
Has he ever shot a gun before in any of the movies?
No, I don't think so. Not that I can remember.
So do you think he doesn't know how to use the gun? That's why he just kind of stabs her with it?
He's like, this is more fun. Shove it through her stomach.
Because that was not only does he kill her with it, by stabbing like a machete, but he hangs her on the wall.
Oof.
Like, he's got that much power that the gun, I would think, would break or something. But no, it goes through her and through the wall and holds her up.
Like rips through her spine.
It rips her. Yeah, it goes through her whole body. I mean, it was very cool. I mean, but I'm not sure really that can happen.
Serious. Like, that was serious. So then she's gone, and then we get Rachel. She comes upstairs after she finds out, because she's on the radio downstairs. She finds out the cops will be here in 15 minutes because Meeker told her to man the radio when she leaves. And then she finds the bodies. She goes upstairs. Jamie's missing. So it's like, holy shit, what's happening? Brady comes out of nowhere. And then, dude, just chaos just ensues.
Meeker asked him if he knows how to use a gun, and Brady right away was like, "Yeah, of course." Where did he screw up? He didn't have bullets in there, right? He didn't have bullets in the gun, right? Or did he use the gun before that?
No, he has bullets in the gun. Remember? So this is the line I was going to ask you about. So when he checks the door and he's like, remember, it's like locked. He's like, I think we're locked in. And he's like, move, I'm going to shoot it. And he shoots it.
Right. Wasted. You're right. Okay.
And do you remember what he says?
No.
His line was, damn, this is metal. And then Rachel screams, what does that mean? Which I agree with you, Rachel. What does that mean? It's metal. What else should it be? Plastic? It's a lock.
No, I remember that.
I love that.
So, but then it doesn't come into play. And that's it. And then, so he used all the bullets on the door. Is that?
I guess so. Yeah.
So again, but wouldn't he know how many bullets are in a shotgun?
How many bullets in her shotgun? Do you know?
I'm not a gun expert. I don't know.
I'm not either. But maybe he was just saying yeah to look like a tough guy in front of Sheriff Meeker. You know?
Okay. Well, he's trying to impress him because he's trying to impress his daughter. And
yeah.
Okay. Because he seems to take a long time loading that shotgun.
He does, yeah. It is a cool fight because you rarely see up to this point. Usually, Michael comes up to his victims, kills them for the most part. Besides, Laurie Strode, nobody really fights back. Maybe Loomis, but his is like from a distance, not close. But man, he throws a punch at him.
He throws a few punches at him.
Yeah.
But, Brady seems like such a douche that I don't think he'd be that brave and telling Rachel, why don't you leave and I'll take care of this. I don't think he'd do that. I think he'd be the first one running away. I don't see him do that.
Maybe he really cared about Rachel and it was just like he was pissed and that's why he went for Kelly. But I don't see anybody doing it. I would have just kept running. I don't know. And then the fact that he gets his kill to just die like that, being held up, neck snap, drop, and Rachel and Jamie run up into the attic and they just start throwing whatever they can. And it's kind of funny when you watch Michael walking up the stairs. I'm sure they must have been more than one take, but when he gets to the one thing, it's like a little box and he picks up the box and throws it and places it. I
thought he was going to rip the guy, Brady's head off. When he was lifting him like that, I thought he was going to rip the head off.
Yeah, but they don't do that in these movies. Maybe if this was Jason, maybe they would have done that, or Leatherface or one of the other ones, but no, it's more superficial. His kills
are like a human kill.
Yeah.
As if a killer would kill a human. That's how his kills are.
That's how I guess that they humanize him rather than him be even though I know he can survive a million gunshots and everything that happens to him, but he does he does it like a slasher way. He only uses weapons or his hands.
As I'm looking at your forehead of Michael Myers killing someone with his thumb.
That's pretty badass. And then Rachel, this scene is unreal when she goes into the attic and the fact that there's a kitchen knife just happened to be up there for Michael.
It wasn't a knife. It was a butcher's. It was like a
It was huge. Yeah.
in the attic, just sitting there, looking like it's brand new.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's here just for me. So this scene, when they break out and they're on the roof, can you believe this scene's real? Like, they shot this. They had stunt people on the gutters of the roof waiting just in case if somebody fell to catch them.
I was going to say, like, this scene, like, I guess that's the only place they can go to, but, like, that, like, roofs are not easy to walk on to begin with, let alone that kind of roof in the rain. Like, I don't know if that was the smartest place to go.
It was scary as hell. Like, it was scary watching it.
And the fact that she didn't get away. I thought that Michael Myers was on the other side of the roof, so when they reached the top, he would have been right there.
Oh.
But I like the fact that she did slide down to show that how slippery it was.
Oh my god, frightening! And Michael chasing them, and then Rachel like quickly is like, "I'm gonna lower you down, Jamie." She rips the cable line, wraps it around her, only gets her like halfway down, and then Michael friggin' dumps her off. And she's like laid on the ground unconscious. Jamie like wakes her up. And then this is the teleporting part. Because boom, Michael's on the ground.
Yeah. And that fall, like, she should have broke her back.
Oof. I know.
You know, like, and she gets up like really no problem.
What was cool, like a cool little, and I guess not a throwback to the first one, but it was like, for as the audience when you're watching, when she hits the ground and then Jamie gets to her, I don't know, you think like, all right, most of the time there's only one person that usually survives, and you feel like Loomis is always going to survive. So I'm thinking, man, Rachel's done. No, she gets up. Man, she's such a badass in this movie. And
yeah,
this next, and then I wrote, no one can hear this little girl screaming. She's screaming like on the top of her lungs. Only person that can hear her, Loomis.
Wait a second. Did we miss the whole part of this movie, or am I?
What part?
When he with the rednecks?
With what?
Michael Myers with the rednecks.
Oh, that's
Michael
later,
Myers.
dude. No. That's later.
Oh, okay. All right. So I thought we missed that part. Okay.
No. That's That's the end of the movie, which is soon.
Okay.
So it's really pretty quick. So from now, they go to the school. So really, even at this part, Rachel's still like knocked out. She's knocked out at this point. Jamie couldn't wake her up. Loomis is like,
she should be.
Oh, exactly. So it's like kind of realistic. I forgot that she stayed down. They go to her school, and this is where freaking Michael. Did you notice Michael in this scene at all?
No.
Anything different about him? His they somehow, for some reason, in the prop trailer, they had different masks with different hair color. So in this very short scene, you only see it for seconds. Has blonde hair.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and they didn't have the budget to reshoot it.
You know what? Again, you know, these little details, when you watch it for the first time, again, you don't see, like, again, the bus and everything, the ambulance and everything. You don't see these little things because you're just watching the movie for the first time.
Yeah.
So I did not even know. I guarantee you now, I go back and watch it, it's probably so obvious.
No, it's only quick. It's really quick because I think they probably cut it down because they're like, oh crap. They had to leave in obviously him pop out and throw Loomis through the window, but other than that, it's pretty. The next part was Rachel comes in to save when Jamie whoever that stunt kid is, or if they use like a little person, they fell down the stairs so hard.
Awesome. Yep.
It
looked like her. It looked like she was doing it. Like,
it did, but I'm like, would they allow that? Because that if she hurts herself, then that's filming wise. Like you lose time, insurance, but Rachel pops out of nowhere, fire extinguisher to Michael, and you're like, holy crap!
But that seemed to really stop him for a while.
It did.
You don't know where he is, so like that seemed kind of weird. Like, what was that going to do? Like, it was like because he's like you don't see him now for a while, and I was like questioning, like, what did the fire extinguisher do?
I never got shot with a fire extinguisher in the face. But maybe the stuff in it does. I know nothing really hurts him.
Yeah, but considering that bullets really don't stop him, but fire extinguishers do. You know, like the chemicals in there. I don't know about that.
So then they get outside. The militia shows up just in time, and I love that they're going to go in and kill Michael, and they basically, right? Doesn't Rachel convince them like, no, let's just leave, right?
This is when they turn. That's why when you said it before, I'm like, I thought they were still gone on the hunt. But yes, she convinces them like, you know what, we got to get out of here at this point. So they finally agree.
Ugh, this scene is so cool.
Okay, this scene's not cool. It's cool. Okay.
No.
As cool as it
how
is,
he gets there doesn't make sense, but the scene of it. So the only thing you could think about, and they should have maybe they cut it and didn't want to show the audience, but if they would have showed him like underneath holding on or something when it drove away, then that would make more sense. But the fact that they're driving and they know that the state troopers are on their way, they drive past the troopers. They even stop and talk to a trooper that says, hey, there's a substation 4 miles down the right.
They were driving for a while, so he was holding on for a while.
He was.
How is that possible? And, like, is it possible to do that on like on a car?
You hit a bump.
Indiana Jones does it.
Exactly, but you hit a bump. There's something in the road.
No, and to be able to pull yourself so that you don't touch the ground as you're moving to the back of the truck and get on. How is that possible? That's like ridiculous. That is like, literally, like that's like he must be super. Like, his core must be super strong.
He's jacked.
And again, this is a guy that was in a coma for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, they cut out the scene where he started watching Suzanne Summers, like Thunder Thighs or whatever, and Tybo by Billy Blanks. That's how he trains. But dude, music sets the scene so good. So even here you get the music, and then somehow it gets super foggy. Michael turns on a fog machine because they can't see anything. And dude, he is on there just cutting people up. This is probably I guess the other kills they show stuff, but just seeing him with the knife, like stabbing the people, and then just tossing them up.
The other ones, he kills one at a time.
Oh, I know.
And it looks like as he's killing one, the other two are still standing there, just staring straight ahead.
I would say the one guy, the last guy is the worst one because obviously he must have heard the other two guys get murdered or something.
No.
But the other guy's looking forward, like, hey, what's that over there? And then he gets ripped apart and thrown through. And then the main guy, again, this is a scene they added later because they wanted to add like more like kills. This is like the most blood we get in the movie when he rips the freaking guy's throat open by reaching through the window.
Yet he struggles with Rachel.
He does struggle with Rachel.
I mean, he almost takes her clothes off. He keeps every time he grabs her. I know, like it gets almost. I thought she's gonna end up just with no shirt on at the end of the ride.
That was just so frightening just watching that, like the car bouncing and.
Well, the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, why is she not stepping on the brakes? I mean, I know she does eventually, but why did it take her that long to think about that? He's on top of the roof, and he's trying to grab you. Step on the brakes.
Is that in driver's ed? Did they teach that in driver's ed?
I think it is. There is. That's like one of the questions. If someone is hanging on the top of your roof, do you A, try to swerve back, B, step on the brakes, or C, go faster? You know. Because she was like weaving in and out, back and forth. That's all she was trying to do.
I guess she was trying to do the old. They do that in movies a lot too. The whole left and right, and they hope the guy.
They do, but it never. But it never works in the movies. You see the guys like legs flying one side and legs flying the other side, but they never fall off. Never.
How about the next? Just before she does slam on the brakes and he flies off. How about when he's instead of reaching the window, he like slams his face into the front of the windshield, and you see his mask, and then that's when she slams the brakes. He flies. He gets up. And then she runs into him, and he just flies in the air. For a split second, even though I've seen this a bunch, I thought she was going to do the old hit, and then they can't find the body, and then he's like there or something. No, dude, he flies in the air and lands in... Was it like a grave? Were they in a cemetery?
That's what it looked like. It looked like he landed right in a grave, an open grave. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't even know how he held on. After he hit his face on the windshield, and the windshield's pretty strong. So the fact that he was able to headbutt a windshield, I couldn't, I don't know what he was trying to do with that, but yeah. And I forgot that we already saw the scene because I never saw this movie, and I was trying to think like this looks so familiar, and it's the beginning of 5 is where we're at now.
Yeah. So this is pretty much, and then, but the only thing we miss is them throw the bomb in, like the grenades that they threw into the hole. This they just
they had every gun possible at this point, and yeah.
So this is when we see Jamie. They say Rachel runs, talks to Loomis and all the state troopers and Meeker. Jamie stay in the car. Jamie gets out, touches her uncle's hand. They're like, Jamie, no! And then he gets up. They just light him up. He falls into the grave. Boom.
The end.
Or is it?
Why would she? I mean, she's been afraid of him the entire movie. Why did she want to go over near him at this point?
Maybe she was finally like possessed. Maybe with the whole Satan, the evil spirit. It was so close that I don't know.
Or I mean, like I would have thought she would have walked over there and pulled his mask off. And
Or take the knife and stab him.
Good, but that would have given the ending away. But do you think he's wearing the bandages under the mask?
Oh, I guess he knows that. I don't know. I think he takes it off. Right? It's too tight with the bandages on.
Do you ever see what he looks like in any of these movies?
Yeah, we saw it in the 5th one. Remember, he had like brown hair. We saw him for a split second. She ripped the mask. Yeah,
right,
Jamie rips the mask off in that movie. But no, then we get the end scene. They go to the Carruthers house. Jamie's covered in blood, and so is Rachel. The mom goes, "Oh, I'm going to go give Jamie a bath." Goes upstairs. We get a POV. And we see like what the outline of the clown mask is just like from the original movie. And then we hear...
Good guys.
Oh, dude. Did you expect that? Well, you never saw this movie, right?
Well, no, I never saw this, but because I saw the 5th one first, I knew this. So it kind of ruined it, but this would have been, if you never saw it for the first time, I think this would have been cool.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Are you coming over with a clown mask?
You imagine that? That would be absolutely amazing if I had the clown mask. So, man. So that Halloween 4. But one thing that we didn't mention was, so Loomis, he sees this happen. He sees her walk out, knife in the hand, and he's ready to murder her, which I not saying I get, but man, that was intense.
He says no about 15 times.
No! And Meeker saves her life. Really. He would have shot her, and killed her.
Yeah.
And that's it. Then we get...
Well, he's also almost shot at a civilian earlier, too.
Yeah, that's true.
He's pretty reckless. He's pretty reckless with the gun.
Yeah. But that's the credits. But yeah, I think... So we'll get to what we usually do. So Jamie, that was Halloween 4. Would you recommend this movie?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like this movie is like the final chapter of Friday the 13th. Like, I put that at the same level. I think this is definitely better than the other. Again, it's hard for me to tell because I've only really seen, 3 of them. But, yeah, I mean, especially if you've never seen the trilogy, seen Halloween, this is definitely a must. I'm just mad that I didn't see this one before I saw 5.
Yeah.
Kind of spoiled it a little bit. But, yeah, I thought this was, had its little silliness to it. A lot of questions, but... Out of what I've seen, I would absolutely say this is a must see.
If you think about the main horror people, we always argue who would be the 4th on the Mount Rushmore of horror. I don't know if it's Pinhead, Chucky, Leprechaun, all these people, or Leatherface. But the 4th movie rocks in all these big franchises like Dream Master, awesome. Final Chapter, awesome. Return to Michael Myers, awesome. But yeah, I would totally.
I wonder if that's something why is the 4th movie like the Kick-Ass movie?
I don't know. It just worked out perfect that way. And then 5, 5 sucks in all of them.
You're right. Well, but in that you mentioned Pinhead. How about after watching a few Pinheads, I'm not putting him on the
No, I'm not either. That's what I
Rushmore.
mean. I don't know who would be the fourth
no.
one. I guess Leatherface would be the
Leatherface. Yeah, I would say.
So since you saw 5, isn't it crazy when you see this movie and then you see 5? Like, you see Jamie as this character that's so strong and she fought back. And obviously the end of the movie, what were they going to do in the next one? That was a cool cliffhanger for people watching, and they could have made that seem like that was a dream in the beginning of the 5th one. But the fact that in the 5th one she's mute, and the fact that they do Rachel like that, they kill her with scissors after what she fell off a roof. She fought him off when he was on top of the car. And scissors, like she would, I don't know.
I know. No, I did like the fact that, they were questioning Jamie. I like the fact that they brought her back, because I think the actress is great. I mean, for being that young. But yeah, I mean, this movie was, again, the Friday 13th part 4 of Halloween.
Man, so that was it. So next week, we're going to do a little bit of a palate cleanser after a month jam-packed with 5 interviews and 4 horror sequels. We have a special celebration for 2 things, and the episode will be out next Wednesday, November 3rd, and that's Charles Bronson's 100th birthday. One of the greatest action stars of all time and some of our favorite action sequels. And on November 5th, it's the 36th anniversary of the greatest vigilante sequel of all time, Death Wish 3. So our friend Charles Bronson Tweets 9 on Twitter, Bronson Tweets 9 exactly. We did that interview for actor Joe Gonzalez, and now we're getting together the reunion of 4 of the bad guys. I'm talking to Giggler. I'm talking Hermosa. I'm talking Angel, and the Cuban are all back together. And of course, I'm talking about Kirk Taylor, Alex Winter, Tony Spiridakis, and Rico Ross. We're going to be talking about their auditions, memories, working with Chuck, and just so much more. And then we'll be back with the next sequel that we're going to do, Meet the Fockers, which is a great sequel, great interview with Jack Plotnick, which he is in so much. Since I did this interview probably over a year ago, I've seen him so much in guest starring roles. He's great. So don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
Fuck off, Wade.